Hello and welcome. So I'm going to have another play with the Brushos. I'd like to make a Valentine's card using these owls. There's a couple of really nice sentiments on here that I think would suit Valentine's. So I'd quite like a sunset, and then I think I'm going to stamp these and colour them in alcohol markers and then cut them out and put them on the sunset scene. So I'm going to have a go at doing this and we'll see how it turns out. So I've just put some water in 4 of the holes on the palette, and I've got yellow, orange, scarlet and ultramarine. I'm not sure ultramarine's going to be dark enough. I've got some black as well, just to darken it up if I need to. So these are Brusho powders, and if you'll see one of my previous videos, I got these for Christmas from Linda. Since that video, I have written on the top what the colour is, and they are stored in a crate, a little fold out crate that holds 12 perfectly. So yeah, I mean, I can pick them up by the pin, I can see what colour they are. So yeah, they're easy for me to get out of my craft supplies and just use. So the plan is to have yellow merging into orange, and then a little bit of scarlet red, and then blue above to emulate a sunset. So yeah, let's have a go. So the plan is let's move that over there so it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to put some powder into each of these. Just a few taps and you can see there's already colour in there. The plan is to work our way up with colour. So I've got quite a large flat brush. I'm going to go in and give it a bit of a wind, and I'm going to work from the lightest. So as soon as I'm happy with the lightest, I'll move up. So I can just use the same brush, and I've got some kitchen roll available to clear up. So these are watercolour powders that I'm just mixing with water. So I do want something that's quite subtle. I'm going to slightly overlap so that we get the sunset effect. This is Watercolour Card. Let's have a look to see how blue that is. Actually, I don't think that's going to be too bad. So the plan is to have that across the top. You can see the colours emerging beautifully, and that's exactly the effect that I want. I want that to be indicative of a natural sunset, so you would get all of the colours merging. So nighttime at the top. I think I am going to put a little bit of black in there, just a tiny little sprinkle. In fact, I might put it here, just a tiny little bit in there, just to darken that up, because it is supposed to be going into nighttime after all. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to leave that to dry. I'm going to clear up, and then I'm going to come back and we'll stamp the owls and do a little bit of colouring on those and cut them out. Okay, so I've stamped the owls. I actually did that and forgot to hit record. So I'm going to talk you through what I've done. So I am stamping onto cream card because I'm going to use a cream card as my base colour for the card blank. This is Woodware Clear Magic single stamp, and this stamp is called Owl Love. I put this piece of card into my stamping platform, and I have marked where the bottom of the card came to, because I intend to colour this in alcohol markers, put it back in my stamping platform, and then stamp over it in Versafine Clair. Okay, so I'm happy with the colouring on the owls. I'll just hold up the colours I've used to do those so that you can get an idea of what shades I've used. So now I'm going to put that back into my stamping platform and stamp over it in Versafine Clair just to bring the black out, and then I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to cut the owls and the branch and the leaves that are attached to the branch out, and then these I will cut out separately, and then I'm going to stamp straight onto the front of the card and then layer this up. Okay, so that's the owls and the leaves that are going to go on the front of the card cut out. I'm going to get the sunset panel and see where I want to position those. This is our sunset panel. Let's say this, I believe, is 5x7. Yep. So I think I'm going to trim this a little bit and make a 5x7 card blank. And then we're going to stamp the owls directly onto the sunset. And we're going to paste this on top and these. And then we're going to mount it onto the card and pop a sentiment on. Okay, so I've got some blue mirri out, and that is cut to 5x7. This is cut to 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and this is cut by 7 1/8 and 5 1/8. So they're all slightly larger than each other, so they will mat up like that. And then, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp the owls onto this background, and then I'm going to paste this on, and then we will sort out a sentiment. And by restamping this, I'm going to be putting back in all of the swirls and all of the dots that we cut off when we cut this out. This is textured card, so I'm probably going to need to stamp this a number of times to get the swirls back in. I really only want the swirls and the finer details that I haven't cut out to show, so there is no worry about the things that are going to be behind the stuff that I've cut out. So that's better. This is what I'm looking for, these details. Okay, so I'm going to get the mirri stuck to the front of the card. I'm going to do that with Collall, and then I will stick the sunset to the mirri with red tape, and then we'll come back and we will do that together. Okay, so this is all put together. I'm just looking at sentiment, and I think I quite like the "I'll always love you," which is on here, and I think I'm going to pop that on some of the cream that matches the card blank and matte and layer it up onto some of the blue mirri. So I'm going to stamp those. I'm still waiting for this to dry completely before I stick anything on, so we'll do this first. I've stamped and mounted that onto some of the blue mirri, and I'm going to pop it on some foam and pop it there. But first, let's get this on now. So I'm just going to stick that on there with some quick grab glue. I'm using a microfiber face cloth to push this down. What this does is, if any of this glue comes out of the edge, it will suck it up and you won't see it at all on the card. Okay, let's call that done. So this is today's card. So I just need to find an appropriate sentiment to go in the centre. But yeah, easy to do, just a bit time consuming because the Brusho background we use differently. It's as a watercolour, and that needed time to dry, and the stamping and colouring and cutting out. But I'm really pleased with that. So if you've enjoyed today's content, please do consider giving it a like, as it really does give us an idea of what we're doing is right for you. If you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing so and drop us a comment. I like to read those, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.